Annemarie van Blijenburg. I have been married for 24 years met Kees van Kortelaar. Kees van Kortelaar, together with his three brothers, form a criminal organization known as the Octopus Syndicate. They work from 1960 on till the day of today. In order of Queen Beatrix, they have organized martel, torture, rape and killing of children in a public setting. They organized that through youth detention centers in the Netherlands. The youth detention centers were told that the criminals were asking for the Dutch court for children who could work with the Dutch Queen for a certain period. The detention centers were very happy. They thought that Queen Beatrix was a very social woman, and they gladly volunteered in giving files of certain children to the criminals. When they wanted to verify what the criminals told them, they were given a name and a phone number of a high-ranking officer at the court of Queen Beatrix, and that high-ranking officer would state and tell them that indeed those criminals were seeking children to work for a certain period at the Dutch court. After receiving files of approximately 3 children every time, the criminals selected a child that had no relative or family. They told the youth detention center, child A is the one we want to see. The youth detention center bought clothes with the child so that it was well clothed to go to a solicitation conversation, and put the child on train to Zwolle. In Zwolle, the criminals fetched the child from the station, brought it to a building which was equipped as a hotel but was not working as a hotel, although there were people in the lobby doing as if the hotel was in work. The child was put on a table and were giving something to drink, and in that drink, with the drink, the child was drugged. Besides that hotel was a building where the performance should take place. In that building, the people were sat down, and at a certain moment, the child was brought into that building by the criminals, was tortured, raped, and brutally murdered before those people. The audience was around Johan Frieso, Prince Johan Frieso, the second son of Queen Beatrix. I was told that Johan Frieso was quite insane and had an unhealthy interest in young children, and had a steady psychiatrist every day of his life with him. And that psychiatrist's name was Gus Parot-Dumont. The criminals organized those killings in accordance with Beatrix. Beatrix paid for it, paid for the killings, and Johan Frieso, the criminals asked Johan Frieso to bring his relatives or friends with him. And so the whole building was filled with very important people from the Netherlands, ministers, high-ranking officers, and all kinds of people that the criminals could put on photo, so they could blackmail those people and get criminal advantages from that.
Could you name some of the people who were present?
The people that I recognized there were, for instance, Prince Johan Frieso, his steady psychiatrist Guus Barrault-Dumont. I recognized Mabel Wisse-Smith. She was there with an old steady man, I think it was George Soros. I recognized Donner, former Minister of the Law Department, at this moment Viceroy of the Netherlands. I recognized Ernst Hirsch-Ballin, a very important former Minister of Justice. I recognized E. van den Emster. He was for years the head of all judges in the Netherlands. I recognized Dick Berlijn, the former head of the military department in the Netherlands. I recognized a journalist, a very important journalist, Gerlof Leistra, of the journal The Elsevier. I recognized Carla Herades. At present, she is president of the court in Amsterdam, a judge. I recognized Mark Rutte. He is at this moment president of the Netherlands. I recognize Geert Wilders. He is at this moment the head of the political party PVV in the Dutch parliament. There were about 50 people every time I was taken there. I have been taken there 3 times. I have seen every time a child was killed, and I have seen 2 boys killed. I have seen 1 girl killed. I presume those children were Netherlands children. I presume those children came from the detention centers of the Netherlands on the way and were recruited on the way that I've told.
You said that officials at the detention centers said that they thought that they had been eaten.
I've asked the journalists about in 2005, the year 2005 or 2006. I asked a journalist of the journal De Telegraaf to look it out for me and to publish it in the newspaper, what was happening. The journalist told me that he had controlled my story with all the youth detention centers in the Netherlands and had spoken to people who had indeed given those files to the criminals and thought that the children they put on the train were going to a solicitation conversation and were going to work in the court of Queen Beatrix. And that some of those people of the detention center told the journalist that they thought that Queen Beatrix was eating those children up because they were putting them on the train to Zwolle and they never saw them back or heard anything about them anymore.
Do you know what happened to the remains of the children after they died? Do you know where they were buried or what they did with them?
Yes, unfortunately I know, yes. They were first thrown in a container behind the building where they were murdered, a cooling container. After certain performances, the container was brought to Belgium where they had a piece of land where they put the children in a hole.
What is the name of the place in Belgium? Do you know?
I must look it up.
Okay.
I thought I've found it, but I must look it up.
What is it that you'd like to see happen about all this?
Oh, I want to see those criminals forever off the bars.
Yeah. You haven't received any help, though, from within the Netherlands, you said.
Not one thing. No, it is terrible. From 2004 on till now today, I have spoken with every policeman I could find. Spoken with every law official I could find. I've talked to Interpol about this. I've been to court to try to get a conviction of the prosecutor to investigate the matter. The court told me that it wasn't my problem, it was a problem of the society, and the court didn't want to give an order to the prosecutor to investigate. I have done literally everything to clear this up. I haven't. No, I have the idea that everything is stopped because Beatrix is involved.
Right.
And the Dutch court is involved. And every time some policeman wants to investigate, they slap him on the shoulders and say, don't do that because Queen Beatrix doesn't want it.
Are you willing to give this testimony in another court, say a common law court?
Yes. I have no objections about that. I'm very, very angry. If you've seen what I've seen, it always stays with you. I can put it aside because it is one of the gruel things that I've seen, but it's horrible.
Yes.
It's really horrible. It is idiots. One time when I was driven back to my home, so my husband took me there. My husband drugged me, and my husband let me see that, and my husband brought me back to the home. And my home was about 100 kilometers far. And during that ride, I suddenly came to my senses. I suddenly discovered that was a child that I had seen killed. I burst out in tears. My husband was driving. He put his arm to me and he said, don't bother. They're children of a minor order. It's just trash. It doesn't matter that they are killed. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's I can't describe it. It's horrible. It's idiot. That those people who are looking there and not doing anything, those people are idiots. And
your husband is still alive?
He's still alive and he's still killing people. It's idiot. If you just think how many people since 2004, since I tried to stop it, have been killed. It's 10 years.
Yeah.
They kill approximately perhaps 10 or 20 people a year, if not more. It's horrible. I have shown the police. I have let them see 4 places in the Netherlands they used as graveyards for people. They liquidated them. Never any policeman has taken the trouble to look.
Can you name those 4 places?
Yes, I can name those places. I can show them, but I will put them to you by email. But the criminals know that I've told the police. They've had every opportunity to let the bodies disappear again. I know two places where it is difficult for now to let them disappear. One is a pool, but I've seen that they did something there. I don't know what, but it must have been difficult to let the bodies disappear from that pool. But never, normally in the Netherlands, when you find something in a house, a corpse or blood, the police goes with 20, 30 people to investigate it. And when I say to the people, I know 4 places in the Netherlands they use as a graveyard, and every graveyard, perhaps 20 till 50, perhaps 100 bodies are buried there, and nobody is looking. Nobody is looking at those places. Nobody goes there.
Could you tell us your name and the date, please, today?
Today is the 5th of June 2014, and my name is Annemarie van Blijenburg.